You're listening to Powerful, a podcast that will provide you with solutions to ignite your superpowers, identify your limiting habits, and help you be more authentic. Hi, I'm your host, Brigitte Jackson. The episodes are cultivated with you in mind and teach us how to be intentionally powerful. It is declared that you are ordained for it. Welcome, powerful. Oh, yes. We're very excited. Yes. This is party time. It is party time. And when you get ready to do a party, do you know that you prep for a party? And so we're going to talk about some of that stuff. We're going to talk about what you need to do to prep for your party, because I don't know about you. I'm celebrating. It's party time. Let's go. Hey. It's your girl, Brigitte Jackson. I'm so very excited to be here with you today for this epic episode. This is our 200th episode, and we are so very excited to be here, to be with you. I made it. And we're going to get into it in the podcast because it's amazing that we've made it to 200 episodes. Yes, I didn't stutter. I said 200 episodes. Yes. 100 plus 100. We are at the 200th episode. And so we're going to be talking today about some very important things. We're going to talk about procrastination. We're going to talk about the lack of follow through, and we're going to talk about emotional waves. Yes, those are the three things that we're going to get into and dive into in this episode today. Traditionally, what we would do is we would break right now for a commercial, but we're not going to break for a recorded commercial. I just want to talk to you today, and I want to talk today again, in a commercial format. So if you're listening to this, let me tell you, ladies, I need you to act. Yes, I need you to act. So I need you to do yourself a favor, number one, and then me a favor, number two. I am offering, because this is our 200th episode, and I didn't want to put it at the end. I took the commercial out so we could talk about this. So here is what we're talking about. Typically, we'll have the commercial about the dash, or are you fulfilling your dreams, right? Are you living out the things that you want to do? Well, I'm combining that today with a very special offer. Because it's our 200th episode, we're going to do the first 20 people. So I'm taking the 2 and the 0 off of that 200. And the first 20 people that respond, and all of that information will be in the links below that you can go into the show notes and get the information. But the first 20 people that respond, I am going to do some personal coaching for you. Now, I've moved away from the one-on-one, so I want you to know how valuable this is. And my goal is your very success. So if you have issues with the three things that we're talking about today, procrastination, lack of follow through, and emotional waves, girl, you better act on this offer, because I promise you, some people will take it up and you will be out and missing out. I don't want you to miss out. I really don't. So we're going to get into it today. We're going to get in and we're going to talk about, why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about procrastination, the lack of follow through, and emotional waves? Well, yeah, there's a reason. Well, that was me. That's why. You see, right now, you hear the podcast performer. You hear the person that owns multiple business. You hear the person that was able to take risk and walk out and step out and leave a beautiful, lucrative career to go into the unknown and actually be able to tap into it and make it work, right? You see right now the fact that I've been able to influence hundreds of people, thousands of people over my career. You see that part. You see the confident, courageous, very empowering, influential, and motivating, transforming Brigitte. That's what you see right now, right? But it has not always been that way. Yeah, I want to tell you about my $20,000 mistake. Oh yeah, that's what I said. So I'm getting things done now. I am accomplishing things that I had only imagined years ago, wanted to do decades ago, but actually am doing them now. But before all of that could get done, about 10 years ago, I made a $20,000 mistake. Now, I don't know about you. 20 grand is a lot. As the kids say, racks, that's a lot now. That's a lot now, and it surely was a lot then. And what happened is I did not always follow through. Yeah, I had the tendency to be a procrastinator, and I procrastinated on my own life. You know, I did well for the organizations that I ran. After all, I was a leader. So I had to do things in a different way. I couldn't take my habits and actually be effective in the workforce. So I put on that super cape and I actually did the things that I needed to do. But in my personal life, I did not follow through. I procrastinated a lot. I mean, I gave myself a PhD in procrastination. Emotional waves up and down. So my emotions would carry me. If I felt like doing it, okay. I didn't feel like doing it, I wasn't going to do it. There was not a lot of discipline, order, or habits in my life. And so I didn't take care of something and it cost me 20 grand. Yes. Now, fast forward to the lesson learned. I learned I had to get control of Brigitte. I had to do some things that was going to make me different. I had to empower myself because I understood empowering myself was going to help me empower other areas. And so I did. I empowered myself, and then my relationships started changing. I empowered myself and my business started changing. I empowered myself. My spiritual life went to an entirely different level. I empowered myself. And then I saw the residual effects happening in my family because I was able to inadvertently, not even openly trying to do it, change them. So there was a serious lesson learned in that. And so I was able to not only just be the optimistic me, but I could be the results driven me. Now, you might not understand that, but you have to understand the context of how I'm wired. And so that would make a lot of sense. So I am, again, on the DIS spectrum, I am an I. So we have the D, the I, the S, and the C. The D is very decisive. The I is interactive. The S is steady or stabilizing. And the C is cautious. Well, I'm a high I. I'm interactive. I thrive on relationships with people. All right. I have a tendency to be able to see people and love on people and love being around people. I bring the fun to the party, right? So that helps make me very motivational, makes me an influencer. And so I gravitate to people that are like that, but people that are like that also gravitate to me. All right. And so they gravitate to me because they see themselves in me. And so I want you to understand there's nothing wrong with that, but there are some blind spots. So I'm very talkative, as you can see. I never meet a stranger. We getting on the elevator. Oh, believe you me, you're going to give me some eye contact and you're going to at least say hi. I might not get a conversation out you if you are very introverted rather than extroverted, but I will get you to come out your comfort zone for about 2 seconds, right? While the elevator ride go from one floor to the next floor. And so that is my superpower. That is my genius. That's my lane and my zone, again, of genius. And so, but there's some blind spots that come with that. I could have the tendency to be impulsive. I could have the tendency to not follow through. I could have the tendency to procrastinate and put things off. Now, why did I say could have the tendency? Because I could have the tendency. See, I work on that so I don't have the tendency. That doesn't mean that, again, the things don't pop up, but when they pop up, I've gained enough experience, I have enough people around me, and I have some really great systems and processes in place to help keep me on this path of success. Now, again, that doesn't make me perfect. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm very self-aware. I'm very open to what I do. And my goal is other women's success. My goal is for other women to walk in their innate, their natural born tendencies and abilities to do some incredible, incredible things. So earlier I said, let's get ready for the party. So this is my 200th episode. Yay, Bridget! So I told you we were going to talk about why that's important. Well, that's important to me because when I started this podcast back in 2019, yes, I am so very excited. I started this podcast in 2019. I wanted to start it actually around 2008 when I found out about podcasts. I was like, oh, I love to talk. I love to inspire. I love to motivate people. Oh, this could be my lane. I've always wanted to do radio. God actually told me years ago that I would have a radio broadcast. That was about 27 years ago. And it's amazing because this has come full circle that this really is the modern day radio, right? Podcasting. And so I was very, very, very excited about doing this and doing this thing that I didn't even know about back in 2008. So I researched a little bit, learned a little bit, but never put action to it. You see, at that time, I was a full-time principal, and I've always had urban schools that have taken a lot of energy to run, because when I went into the school, they were struggling. But when I left the school, they were positioned in a better position to be able to be much more successful with the new leadership that would come behind. Well, I needed to do that for my personal life too. And I was slacking and I wasn't doing it. And then one day, my grandfather passed, and it changed my whole perspective on life. So in 2008, I lost my grandfather. My grandfather was 92 years old, approaching his 93rd birthday, right? And when I say my grandfather was the epitome of youth to me, like he could do stuff that I couldn't even do, and had just walked almost 5 miles just months before he passed. And I love to tell this story because I want people to understand that mindset is so very important. He had mindset that he could do any and everything. He was a retired sergeant in the Army. He was a Purple Heart recipient, and he just lived life vicariously. He just enjoyed life, right? And that's my goal. That's my goal, to be able to do that now. But I wasn't doing that. And then when he passed, it gave me a whole different sense and appreciation. He was my last grandparent. And so it gave me a different outlook on life. And I just started saying, you know what? I'm going to live this life every day like it's my last. So I started researching podcasts again and said, oh, I'm going to get started. Bought equipment. But guess what? That darn procrastination, it kicked in. And I don't think it kicked in because I just didn't want to do it and I was putting it off. I think there was a fear that was the underlying foundational culprit. Well, I got rid of that. I took that equipment out, dusted that equipment off, and I didn't even have the equipment that I have now. Like, I have a beautiful setup now. I didn't even have that. I was mostly even using my iPhone. And I did what I needed to do to start the podcast. And if you want to believe me to see the difference between then and now, go listen to one of them. They're not horrible, but they aren't as sharp as the ones that I have now because I've learned so much. I went to a podcast convention right before COVID. It was so funny because it was right before COVID. It was absolutely fabulous to see thousands of people and hear and glean and grow from them, right? And I've expanded based upon that. And so procrastination couldn't stop me because I was determined to learn more about myself. And the more I learned about myself, and I used the DISC assessment, I used the values assessment, and I used another assessment called the attributes. And I learned what my behavior preferences were. I learned how I show up, what I do, and what happens in the how of my life and my existence. And adding all three of those together, I became a more super powerful Brigitte. And so that's what that offer is. That's what that offer is that I offered 20 people. So again, let me go back real quick and shoot a quick. If you hear this, you need to go to the link and click on it and get it done ASAP so that your life can have more transformation. Because maybe you're successful right now, but you still know there's something about your behavior that's hindering you. Those blind spots are getting in the way. Don't let them get in the way. Let your super strength, your super talent, your superpower, your behavior preference, your personality trump any other itty bitty thing that should not be. All right. Okay. So we were talking about procrastination. I want to go into the lack of follow through. Again, that $20,000 mistake was made because I wasn't following through. So I missed the deadline, missed some things, and I was charged literally 20 grand. And it hurts. Do you all hear me? That was a hurting thing when I knew I could do better. So guess what I do now? I make sure that I put systems in place because remember I told you, I have the tendency to be very impulsive. And not because I just want to be impulsive, I'm wired like that. So I'm the fun, I'm the life of the party. I'm Miss Optimistic and I'm Miss Motivational and I'm the gregarious person. In other words, I'm the person that's coming, hey, turn up, turn up, turn up. I want to have fun. I love energy. I love energy off of people. Well, I get bored easily of things. Well, you can't do that in administration. And guess what? I couldn't, because I would fail as a leader and I would fail my institutions. Well, I had to take that same energy and apply it over to my personal life. So I can't be impulsive. I have to have systems, but that does not, again, come natural to me. Now, I am a high C2 as well, so I do have some cautious tendencies. But my I over trumps. My I want to have fun. My I want to be spontaneous. My I does not want to lend itself to making sure that there is perfection and there is protocols all the time. Now, sometimes I do. It depends on what I'm actually doing, So there's areas of my life, I'm very much analytical. I'm very much driven by, again, processes, and I'm not going to move from them. I'm not going to manipulate them. I'm not going to maneuver away from them. But it's times in my life, depending on what it is, that I'm totally spontaneous. And I'm like, hey, and then I have to rein myself in. And so if you're like that, I need you to understand that. And again, I need you to get on my campus. I need you to take advantage of these 20 complimentary packages that I'm going to give out because they will go fast and the people's lives will be changed. So I need you to understand there is a need for you to follow through, but maybe you can't follow through on your own. I couldn't. I did not know how to do the things in my business that I needed to do to change the trajectory of my business. So you know what I did? I sought out coaches. I got coaches to help elevate me and change my life. And I've actually had some phenomenal world-renowned coaches that have helped me get to this position that I am in today. And I'm so very, very grateful. But that doesn't stop there. I want to help other people do the same thing. And we use quick, short, easy tools to do that. And then we just put tiny habits in place. Did you hear me? When I say that word tiny, I really mean the word tiny, T-I-N-Y, tiny. Little tiny things that we do will get us what we've never gotten. And so that's what I did. I was able to change and have more follow through because I instituted tiny, tiny habits. Have you ever been in a place where you knew you needed to get to the next place? You wanted to go from one level to another level, one stepping stone to another stepping stone, but didn't know how to do that? Well, little tiny things will get you there. I used to tell my staff when I was a school principal, how are we going to get there? Because we had some enormous tasks to complete. Again, I told you I worked in urban schools, and most of my schools were, actually one of my schools, when I got to the school, they were at the 5th percentile. And so if you think about percentiles, that means 95, if you had 100 people, 95 people or 95 schools would be doing better than us. So we were in the bottom 5 percentile. And literally in 1 year, we moved from the 5th percentile to the 50th percentile. You might ask, Bridget, what did you do? Easy. I built the team, I empowered the team, and the team took the mission and the vision and put tiny, do you hear me? We didn't do a whole overhaul of the school. We put tiny things in place and got it done. On my campus right now, I have clients that I have worked with that all they did was put tiny things in place, and they looked around and they saw the results of that tiny effort. So I'm not asking you to do major overhauls of your life. I want you to stop procrastinating. I want you to stop not having the follow through. So I just need you to put tiny things in place. And last, we would be amiss if we didn't talk about the emotional waves. Yes, yes. That is one of my tendencies, to move and go up and down because I'm so connected to people. So if that's you and you are really connected to things and you can go emotional, then you got to get a check on that. And it's a time for emotions. Again, I'm a very inspiring person. I can say that about myself. I'm not bragging, but I do. I get that all the time. If I ask people, and actually I did this social media experiment a couple years ago, I asked everybody to tell me one word, just one word that described me. And most of them, it was wrapped around some type of synonym of inspirational. Because that is what I've been doing all of my life, because I'm wired that way. So how are you wired? How are you wired? So if you're emotional, then understand that and know that you got to get some things in place to do it. And maybe again, you need people, systems, and processes. And that's what helped get me out of that. So when I know that I'm in my feelings, I have to get sounding boards to help get me out of that. And so those are my people that are in my life, my accountability partners, my friends, my colleagues, that they know that they can be honest with me and get me out of whatever I'm in, right? And if you're the opposite, and maybe you don't have emotional waves, you just kind of flatline, matter of factly. Well, is that helping you or is that hindering you? And if it helps you in that moment, by all means, make sure you do it. But if it's not helping you and it's hindering you and it's a blind spot, I need you to address it. So we need to address those things that's keeping us from being our improved self. Because remember, we said improved self equals improved other areas. And the crazy thing is, it's not going to attack just a little part of your life. It's going to tap into so many different areas. When I started working on Brigitte, and again, I've been working on myself for over 5 decades, right? But I'm talking about really work on myself. So my career has spanned over 30 years, right? And so in over 30 years, I have truly worked on myself. But can I tell you, in the past 5 years, though, I've done some intensive, deep dive work. When I say deep dive, drilling. In one of the previous podcasts, we talked about that. We talked about drill like you are Jed Clampett. And for those that might not know who I'm talking about, the Beverly Hillbillies. Remember, they went from poverty poor, and they called themselves hillbillies, to they moved into mansion in Beverly Hills, living a good life. Do you want to have abundance and the good life? It starts with the decision that I'm going to improve me. I'm going to be the best version that I can be. I'm going to up-level my life. I'm going to build my confidence. I'm going to build my discipline. Oh, okay, let's go there. Did you not like that word discipline? I don't. I've never liked the word discipline because it seems so confining. And remember, my personality, my behavior preference is not a confining one. So if that is the case, then change discipline. And all discipline is people that have very precise habits. So now I say I'm a habit builder. I don't have to use the word discipline. So you need to increase your habits, because habits are going to give you a consistent, stronger life. Yeah. And I love, again, tiny habits. So that's all I do. I do tiny habits. And I show people on my campus how to be able to do that, because I'm not just telling you something, I'm telling you what I went through. I was able to move areas of my life that have been stagnant, stuck, dysfunctional even. And now I put the fun in dysfunctional. Yes, I love it. I've loved having this conversation with you. And so, as we were saying at the beginning, that we want to prep for the party. So it's celebration time. We are in, episode number 200. Yeah, I learned that little way from one of my mentors, none other than the fabulous, phenomenal Lisa Nichols. I enjoyed, again, being on her campus, learning on her campus. I am such a better woman. I'm a better minister. I'm a better wife. I'm a better mother. I'm a better daughter. I'm a better aunt. I'm a better niece. I'm a better cousin. I'm a better businesswoman. I'm a better speaker. I'm a better everything, because I decided I was going to get some coaches and improve myself. So I want you to be better. Would you like to be better? And here's the great thing is, we're in the middle of the year. We've already gone through quarter one, quarter two, and I'm talking in quarters because, again, I talk business now, and our personal lives need to be ringing like a business. You are the CEO of your personal life, right? And so quarter one, quarter two gone. But we are right now in quarter three, and we have quarter four. So we basically still have a lot of time to get some things done. Because here's another thing that happened with me. I was able to get more done in 12 weeks. You can call it 3 months. You can call it 90 days, whichever one you want to do. I like saying 3 months because 3 is a smaller number, and that hits your head and you're like, oh, 3? Okay, I can do it in 3. Yes, you can do it in 3. In 3 months, I was able to do things that I hadn't done in almost 30 years. Yes. So, and again, remember, I'm very spontaneous. I'm very impulsive, or have the tendency to be, if I don't check myself and I'm not conscious about it and I'm not being self-aware. And I was still able to get those things done. Remember, I told you I went from being a master procrastinator to accomplishing goals and achieving things, becoming a best-selling author. Oh, yes, that probably is my biggest heartbeat outside of my husband and my children. I'm absolutely, absolutely excited. And I'm more excited than anything to be able to share again this 200th episode with you. The fact that I didn't quit, because there's the other part, not just the follow through. Remember, we said procrastination, follow through, and emotional waves. Well, my emotional waves would have me and run me where I'd be like, I quit because I wasn't seeing the evidence. I quit because I wasn't feeling the passion. I quit because I wasn't seeing the people. And it's like, next, go on to the next thing. It wasn't moving me. Well, I don't go on to the next thing anymore. Every year, I set my year out with 3 buckets, 3 main goals. And everything that I do in that year falls into those 3 buckets or it doesn't get done. So that's why I'm telling you about not procrastinating anymore. I don't procrastinate because I have a clear plan. I don't procrastinate because I have 3 things that I focus on, and it's such a small number, I can get those things accomplished. Even when people come to me and say, Bridget, can you? Nope, if it doesn't align up with my 3 buckets. Whew, I'm telling you all, transformation city. The follow through happens because my plan is written, my plan is executed, my plan is observed. So here's another good, meaty, juicy, meaty thing that I can tell you to do. I inspect what I expect. Yes, it's on paper. And every week, every 7 days, I hold myself accountable to what I said. Now, I'll be honest with you. It has been times over this journey, over the last 5 years, that I have had times where I got off the wagon, but I get myself right back on the wagon. I'll be honest with you, even right now. Right now, 2022 has been challenging because when I lost my father, my whole foundation kind of fell from under me. Have you ever been on that ride at the amusement park where the floor drops? That's how my life was back in February and March. And so I had to get myself back together. But guess what? It was easy to do because my plan was written. My plan has a system to do feedback, follow up, and inspect it. Inspection is so very important. So I just don't say I'm going to do it. I go back and ask myself, did I do it? And I score myself. Yeah, I love giving myself those attaboys and those kudos. Because again, I like it. So whatever your preference is, how your behavior tends to show up in the world that people see, you got this. You got this. You got this. I'm going to conclude at this point right now. But again, I just want you to remember, procrastination does not have a hold on you. The lack of follow through does not have a hold on you. Your emotional ups and downs does not have a hold on you. You can do what you put your mind to. You just need to make sure that you have the right recipe to do it. And that recipe includes having people, systems, and processes in place to make sure that you're the most successful person that you can be. Because remember, again, when you empower yourself, you're going to have the residual effect of everything else falling in place. All right, this is my time for today. I hope this has blessed you. Would you please, please do me a favor? If this actually blessed you, I need you to stop right now. Don't even listen to the rest. Come back to it though, but stop right now, take time out and write a review. You can send it to me at bridgetbrownjackson.com/podcast. You can go on any of the platforms that allow you to do the reviews and give a review, and I will see it that way. Or you can click the link in the show notes and email me at ordainededucator@gmail.com. Yes, I just love, 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 love being able to bless you. And I just want to know how much I did, if it really is helping. And then I always love feedback because I want to be better. So if you have some suggestions for the podcast, if you think that didn't really work, I would love to hear from you. So please email me as well. You know, I love to tell you, coach me and I learn, challenge me and I grow, believe in me and I win. You are a winner. You got this. So let's party. All right, good people. See you at the next podcast.